This is a spindle, a drop spindle. It's used to make thread or yarn, depending on how thick you spin it and how you ply it. But it is very useful to make cordage out of a pillow. This is a very old pillow. It has been used and abused and drooled on, and now it's time to repurpose it. Why repurpose? This is plastic, polyester. Now polyester, you can wash this and reuse it and stuff something else, but you can use it to make cordage. I'll show you how to do that, and then I'll show you how to make a scrubby and turn an old pillow into something that you can use and reuse. Why would you want to reuse? Well, it's good for the environment. It definitely is. I started spinning earlier a couple months ago, and I got obsessed with it, and now I was actually hoping what was inside the pillow was going to be cotton, but it was not. It's polyester, which is great cordage material. What is the one survival tool that people on like Naked and Afraid try to make? Is cordage. Cordage is anything that you make into a rope like structure. So I think that this polyester will be good for a scrubby, you know, like a kitchen scrub. You take this and it spins, and it transfers that spin into the fibers, and it locks the fibers together. It's very handy. You could do this by hand. It would take you a lot longer. Or you could find a stick and wrap it around the stick and suspend the stick if you did not have a spindle. It got a little slubby here, so I'm going to take it apart. How to turn a pillow into something useful for survival situations. When you're trying to survive, you're trying to build yourself a shelter. A pillow would be really great to rest your head or to pad the ground, but you could also use it to create cordage using a stick. You don't even have to have a weight on it. You could just use a regular stick. Let me get one and I'll show you. Alright, I found a stick from my stash. I was trying to practice wood burning on it, but this will work perfect. Let me bring you down and I'll show you what I'm doing. Okay, we'll try this. Alright, you take this stick, you take your fiber, a stick from, you could whittle it, get it a little bit straighter. It might work a little bit better to spin it up. You want to take the fiber out of the pillow and start twisting it. or if you have a string on hand, that would create a leader. This is what's called a leader, and you need that in order to put it around your stick. You could wrap this around your stick and then twist your stick. It's kind of coming off the stick a little bit because there's not enough of it yet. You get it to a certain point on this stick, especially if you use a half hitch or something. Get it on that stick. Make the stick balance. Twirl the stick. Oh, that was the opposite twist. Use the same type of twist that you were using. We're going to go this way anyway. Put your If you untwist it the wrong way, it's fine. I like to twist clockwise. I like to twist clockwise. And that's why it didn't work, because I was twisting it counterclockwise. Okay, there's enough to try and put a half hitch on. Getting it started can be the most difficult, but you can really use a stick, trust me. All right, we're going to get a little bit more here. This is what we're doing. We're just drafting it out a little bit, giving that a twist. Enough to keep it together so we can put it on the stick. Or if you find a string. And let it go and it gets some of that twist out. Doing it by hand is a lot harder than doing it with a stick, but getting this first little leader is fine. Getting this first little leader is what you need to do. Okay. Now I'm taking it, I'm twisting it, and I'm putting that loop on. All right, let's see if we can do this here. It's on the stick. Hopefully we don't untwist what we did there. Use your stick to make the twist. And scoot it down, wrap it around, and do it again. Now even the process of winding it on will add twist out here. If you're making a thick rope, this is sufficient to make your fiber turn into a rope. The thicker you make it, the less twist it needs to stay as a rope. I've seen to where you can roll it in a certain way. You look up Navajo spinning sticks, and they've got a way to do it with a large stick that rests on the ground. And it kind of fell apart just now. That's okay, you put the two ends back together by opening the fibers up just a little bit on both ends, laying that together, and this is going to need a little extra twist to be put back together. Just a little extra twist in there and it'll hold together. I'm rolling this in my hands and I'm winding it on at the same time. There might be a way you wind it opposite in order for it to stay on, because there's a way you should be able to just spin your stick without it falling off. Let me see if I can unwind this. This is how much we've done so far. It's string, and the great thing about this, it's polyester. You can burn it and it'll turn into sort of a plastic thing. So I'm gonna walk this back over here. I'm gonna wind it on the opposite way and see maybe if that will let me spin it clockwise without falling off. Okay. You might be able to spin it from your thigh this way. Keep winding it on. Spin it. Can you see what I'm doing here? Adding twist. I definitely recommend you have a dowel in your craft kit because it's very useful for fire starting. It's useful for making spindles. It's useful for all sorts of things. But you can see we're getting in a rhythm now. We've got it the correct way. We're using this stick. We're creating twist. We're drafting it out a little bit. The twist is running up the fiber. It's creating string. Polyester string. I'll show you how to apply this together to make something even stronger. Just roll it. Rolling and rolling. Stretch it out. Twist runs up. So I like to watch shows like Naked and Afraid and Alone, and one of the things that people on Alone, they get to take some supplies with them, which is really cool. It's like camping, extreme camping. One of the supplies they like to take is string, because you can make nets with it. You can tie your shelter together with it. You know, all sorts of things if you just have string. And people used to spin wool just like this. They got a little bit more science into it and figured out that a supported spindle where you sit it and spin it was a little bit easier than the rolling method. So there's supported spindles that sit like this and spin and sit on something down below. There's drop spindles that they're called drop spindles because you often drop them as you're working with them. But you set it in motion and the production rate is a lot faster and it's mobile. You can walk around with a drop spindle where you can't with a supported spindle or a spinning wheel. Spun up some yarn into I spun up some alpaca fiber over these last couple months and got addicted to spinning. And I was hoping that inside this pillow would be some cotton that I could just play around with spinning. But it's polyester. It's also useful. Polyester is useful. It's hard to break because it is plastic. It's better to use it than just throw it away. I had to undo a knot that just now. Alright. You set it, you spin it, you draft. The spin goes up into the fiber supply. And it creates a yarn, a fiber. It creates this string, this strand. It's not quite yarn yet. Could be a single ply yarn. But you can do it with a stick. You can do it with a spindle. Both ways are good ways to make this work. Now to make it even stronger, you can ply it together by doing a 2-ply, which I'll show you. This is a small enough bit that I'll just wrap it around like so and show you how to ply this together. I've got both the ends here. When you put them together, they twist in the opposite direction. They like to twist. I twisted this clockwise, they will twist up counterclockwise and turn into, see, it didn't untwist. It turned into a strand. This is strong. It took a lot of force to just break it. If you do more plies and a stronger twist, that becomes exponentially stronger. So if I put these two together and then tried to pull this apart, I don't think it would be possible. No. That, my friends, is a very strong piece of cord. This is what I was talking about here. The 2 strands together broke, but the 4 strands that we just made will not break. And you can tie that around a couple sticks to hold them together. When you're building the structure, you can weave these together to make a nice blanket. You could probably make a whole blanket out of the fiber in a pillow. You can make a hat, gloves. Since it's polyester, you definitely could use it to hold things together. That is not going to move. Say that was a support for your shelter. That's not going to, you'd have a couple of those. Might go up and down a little bit, but it's not going to come apart. So that's kind of what I wanted to show. I made a scrubby earlier of what I did. I've already used it. It worked really good on my oven. So it's kind of all grimy already, but it's like one of those scrubbies you see at craft fairs, but it's made of polyester. So it's kind of more abrasive than yarn. It did real good. It got my stove clean. I have a gas burning stove. So that is how you turn a pillow into a fiber and use the fiber for survival. I really hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm probably going to do more spinning videos later once I figure out how to. I'm probably going to do more spinning videos later. Let me know what you'd be interested in seeing, because there's lots of different fiber types and I would love to play with them. Thank you for joining me on this fiber adventure. I'll see you next time. Bye.